Welcome to the video. This is just going to be an overview of a camping kit I built for a 2005 Hyundai Santa Fe. So I'm just going to show you the different pieces I put together to make a sleeping platform and some storage area underneath. It's very simple, very rudimentary, and I kept the cost down low and basically just built it with spare wood that I had in my garage. So it doesn't look amazing, but at the same time it's very functional. So I'll just show you what I did step by step, and maybe if you want to get some ideas from this, you can follow along. So the first thing that I did was I removed the rear seats. Since the 2005 Hyundai Santa Fe seats don't lay flat, I didn't want to sleep at an angle, and so I wanted them just completely out of the picture and to create a little bit more storage area. You can see those little bits in the front and bits in the back. There's 8 bolts in total as far as I remember. They're pretty easy to see, pretty easy to remove. All you're going to need is just a socket set to get them out. This is going to be good because it's just going to give us that extra bit of storage space, and it's going to just give us a bit more of a solid base on which to put our platform. This leads us to the first piece of the kit, which is the platform for laying things out flat. And this is the part I actually dislike the most about what I had made. It's very stable and it's level and everything, but I had to put some shims on it, and it doesn't look particularly good because I went to town with some really ugly paint, so I'm gonna have to spend some time either sanding it or rebuilding it. I think I'm gonna actually do the latter. So this is functional, and I just had a lot of 2x4s laying around that were a whole bunch of different cuts, so I kind of Frankensteined them together, and this is what I came up with. But I think other people can come up with a different platform. All you need is something that's kind of longer in the front and lighter in the back, so it can just sit in the space where the seats would have gone, and this will make a nice flat platform on which we can build. The next part I have is just a plywood covering for this. It's not very sophisticated. At some point I'm going to put some hinges and actually make little kind of cupboard doors on this. But for now I'm just kind of coming up with my basic design, so I'll show you the covering component for this. I think what I want to do is use the jigsaw and cut out a couple little circles, or I guess I could use the drill for that as well. And yeah, for now they're just covering pieces that are going to function as like a little shelf underneath the sleeping platform. So these two guys are just actually offcuts. They're not anything that I measured, which is why they're super kind of ugly looking. Even the different colors isn't super great, but they're gonna sit slightly off kilter here. I know I'm making all the carpenters cry right now, but they're gonna have these two sides exposed for now, just for the platform that sits above this. So I'll show you that next, just so this makes a little bit more sense. I know it looks ugly, but this is going to be the cover, and I'll adjust this as the design goes on. So as you can see, it's just sitting on those like little table legs. Basically just built a table above this, and this gives us some storage. And of course we have that storage underneath, and if we want to slide our plywood out here, we have access to that undercarriage part. The final iteration, what I really hope to have is the carpet stapled in, so it will cover the wood and you won't be able to see the sides of the plywood or anything like that. So for now I'm just keeping it pretty simple and just putting it over as little pieces. I'm not finalizing anything yet, but as I move along I'll definitely staple the fabric down, get it a little bit more affixed, but for now it's kind of convenient because I can just take all the pieces out. So win some, you lose some with it. So this next piece is going to be the piece that goes in the back. And again, it's basically just a table with some space underneath it for storage, and it's going to nicely line up with what we've already built, hopefully. So we'll have kind of table to table 2 pieces. And I'll show you the reason why I decided to do this in 2 instead of 1 big chunk. Maybe the final iteration would be in 1 big chunk, but for now this is kind of convenient. Now this guy just slides right in, but really be careful if you're building something. This is 4 feet wide, which is about the maximum distance I could have, and the problem with that is that it does scrape against the plastic, so you're going to want to watch that you don't puncture the plastic. It's quite brittle on the Santa Fe, so just take caution with that. You don't want to puncture or ruin your vehicle in the pursuit of doing this. The whole goal is that we're not making actual modifications to the body, and so we're just going to try and slide this in here, and yeah, just take your time and be cautious with it. This part's actually where I'd like some people's input. I want to make something that's better than this kind of tabletop thing. I don't like the way it sits. I don't like the way that the plywood is. So if you do have any better suggestions for me, please let them fly. I'd like to get some other ideas. I've been looking at a couple other YouTube videos, and I'll put them down in the description as well, so you can check those out if this is something that's piqued your interest. But yeah, I just like a better idea for this bottom part. I got some thoughts for the back portion and what changes I want to make, but this, it's kind of ugly, it's kind of not great, and so I might want to make some changes with it. Right now, just for the covering, just for something to sleep on that's not too rough. I don't want to sleep directly on plywood, so just brought some indoor-outdoor rug. So there you go, you can kind of see the two shelves that we made, and you know, it's pretty clean, but not perfect. Even with the gap between the two boards, which is a little bit of a concern of mine, there's no movement. I can move around and it's not going to be uneven. And of course we're going to have sleeping mattresses on top of this. I'm not just sleeping on plywood, so that's going to add some softness to laying down and using this as an actual bed surface. Also for now, I've just got a plastic tray that I can slide in here. Just use this as a little storage space, so we got that. And another little fake drawer, I guess. This is just a wine box, so I can just slide this in here too. There we go. So at the very least, for the basics of camping, I think this would take care of some storage, sleeping area, and then of course we're going to have a lot of space when we're traveling for packing things down. And I'm just going to show you why I decided to go with two pieces instead of just the one big chunk that we put in there. And this is mostly for just when I'm driving and during the day when I'm not sleeping in it. So that's basically it. It's just basically one little table or platform on top of another, and during the day it's kind of nice to be able to stack them so then I can get access to the storage in the undercarriage of the space where the seats were. And then I also get a couple little shelves to work on and maybe just store gear. What I'm really hoping to do is put some drawers in here next. I want to put some slide out drawers, probably get rid of the 2x6s here because they're just a bit too big. And yeah, put some drawers that slide out. I'd like to have a Coleman stove that comes out here. And then maybe on the other side, I'll have either just storage space or just keep this little drawer that I've got in here. Alright, so what I've just tried to do at the end here is just kind of recreate what a camping setup would be. I'm obviously not out in the woods, I'm in my garage, but I've laid out the sleeping bags. So you can see I got my backpack there. Just a nice box of wood for the thumbnail for this video. And then, you know, you have space for thermal rests and everything. Anyways, I hope the video was useful to you. I hope you actually picked up a few things that you might want to try with your own SUV. And again, this is just for the Hyundai Santa Fe. So yeah, vehicles like this are awesome because they're relatively inexpensive to pick up. So if you want to get down to some camping for the summer, it's an awesome option. And like I say, if you're interested in watching a couple repairs on the vehicle, or if you want to see the next iteration where I make a few changes to the underpart here, added a couple drawers and a Coleman stove, then by all means stick around and we'll get to talking about it. Thanks for watching the video. We'll catch you next time.